Good morning. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Mornings with Missy. This is October and we are full swing into Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which is Women's Health Month as well. And we are here once again with the very fun and lovable Carrie Wolhart.
Hi, thank you for having me back.
I told you we were going to have you back because there were so many things that we touched on in that episode last month with you. We just had to continue unpacking. But before we get started, I do want to give a shout out to Reba's Buds and Blooms for our beautiful arrangement here this morning. Thank you so much. So let's just dive right in. I mean, this isn't...
I'm going to take my cup. I'm going to need a drink before this one and my coffee.
Okay. There are so many things to unload, and I know that you were specifically wanting to dive deep into one area of conversation that is a little taboo.
Absolutely.
Or a lot taboo.
It's a lot taboo.
Okay.
And so, ladies, get your seatbelts on. This is your warning right now. You might just blush through the camera. So
men or small children may want to leave the room. No.
Yes, it won't be that bad,
No,
but
I'm just making lighthearted of a serious conversation.
Yeah, just to show you some of the symptoms that I have here on my phone, so I don't forget any of them, that women often experience, okay, as we age, right? But some things can change that. Childbearing, hormonal problems, vaginal atrophy, dryness, vaginal laxity, stress or urge incontinence. You know, if you happen to dribble or you have to cross your legs to laugh or pee, like this conversation is going to be for you. So whether you're 30 or 80, this is something that you want to know about. So we do a lot of discussion about vaginal rejuvenation. I said it, sorry.
There it is.
Yes, so today we're going to talk mainly about internal vaginal rejuvenation. That's the reason for us having the laxity, dryness, and the incontinence issues. So
I mean, these are real issues.
Yes.
And I'll be honest, I did not realize that there were all of these.
Nobody does.
Solutions.
Nobody does. That's why these conversations are so fun for me. It is near and dear to my heart because as a woman and as I age and have children, I don't want to have to deal with these problems that we've all been told, well, you need a surgery for that, by the way, which doesn't always fix the problem. So the vaginal rejuvenation I use is on my laser. And I'm going to show you guys before we even get started. We're going to get the conversation out there, I promise. This is what the wand looks like, and I'll show you here. So it's not scary.
No, not at all.
This does not hurt. I have been told by every patient I do that it feels like sitting on a seat warmer. So mind you, we're doing internal rejuvenation. We're going to fix not only the laxity and the dryness, as it's the circulatory system, so that's more superficial, okay? But we're also going to fix deeper, the more muscle sphincter problems with the incontinence. So with that being said, sorry, I know I'm referring to my phone quite a bit right now. This is the core technology that my machine uses. And so you can see that blue arc treats very superficial. The yellow treats a little bit more in the middle. And then the pink treats deeper down to that muscle layer. So not only am I treating one layer at a time, right? You don't have to come back 8, 16 times if you have more than one problem. I can treat everything at once.
So how often can I expect to have to come back if I've got an issue that brings me into your clinic for this procedure?
Okay. Let's get down to the nitty gritty now. So when you have these issues, this treatment is geared more for an every 4-week treatment. You're going to need 3 to 4 of them, depending on how severe the problem is. Mm-hmm. We have studies from physicians up north and surgeons up north that are getting their patients' results out as far as 24 months right now. And this technology is still so new that they are still studying it. So it may be even better than that. I tell my patients that when you start to feel that first sign, whether it's the urge incontinence or the dryness, come back, one treatment, you're good to go.
That's fantastic. You've had some good success apparently with some ladies here.
Yes.
Being discreet and not violating any privacy issues. Are there some testimonials that you can share that women have, expressed some success?
So one that has always stuck with me is a lady that has had, I'll say multiple children, okay, upwards of 3. She's younger than me. I'm 40. She was working out avidly, and she was so upset because she couldn't do jumping jacks without peeing on herself. Now, I don't work out. So my first response was, why would you want to do jumping jacks? Like, that is ridiculous. Just stop. No, but she couldn't even get out of her car, which she has like a bigger truck. Just the jolt of like dropping down, she would dribble just a little bit. So my first interaction with her was, let's fix it. Let's do this. This is easy. One problem and we're done. She was also waking up at night, twice at least, to go pee. Mind you, she's under 40. This should not be an issue, right? So one treatment, completely fixed.
Okay, so I'm going to play devil's advocate because you stated that she was doing jumping jacks. So I'm going to assume that she's fit, she's working out.
Very, very.
Now, I know there are certain exercises and things that we can do as women specifically for that region of our body to strengthen those muscle bases. So is this beyond that? So there are things that we just can't fix?
Absolutely.
And that's what would then lend us to need to seek these treatments?
Yes. I mean, it's just like, okay, skincare is a really good way that I can refer to this. So I'm not going to say any brands, okay? But like take like a storefront, relatively cheap skincare line.
Sure.
And you pair that up with our medical line. It's not as strong. So when you're doing those exercises yourself, whether it's weighted exercises or just internal exercises, it's not as strong as what I can do with this machine and this frequency.
Well, I mean, that makes sense. You're getting really...
And I often tell you guys, my patients, not you guys, to continue on with your exercises because it's just going to strengthen it that much more and it's going to get you that much further ahead when you come back for your next treatment. Right.
No different than, okay, you get Botox that's going to remove a wrinkle. Skincare, that routine.
Absolutely.
Is irreplaceable. You can't do one and not continue to do that.
Absolutely.
Because we know what the core is. So, you really do need to start a workout program, Carrie.
I know.
I hate to break it to you.
I know.
But especially as you get older.
Yes. We'll work on that.
Muscle.
That will be my New Year's resolution. You'll have to call me and we'll have to go work out together, okay?
We'll do that.
As for let's talk about the consultation, right? Because everybody wants to know what this really looks like because this is an awkward setting, right? Just so you guys know, it's much more awkward for you guys than it is for me, right? So we sit down, get to know each other. I want to make sure you guys feel comfortable with me before we even dive into this topic. So we have a very thorough physical exam, just a general physical exam. I deep dive into your symptoms, your lifestyle, because that is very important. Then we decide on a treatment plan, which may be those exercises like Kegels, maybe both that and the treatment, because obviously there are some contraindications to this treatment. We don't want any active cancer because I am looping a frequency. So I want you guys to have a PAP before you come in, or at least within the last year, so I can make sure that you're healthy because I definitely don't want to cause any more problems. So there's a lot of conversation that goes into it. Then we pull you back in when you're ready and cleared. And we go into one of my treatment rooms that does look more like a clinic setting because obviously, let's be real, ladies, you got to get in the stirrups, right? And I make it as fun as possible, but it's definitely not painful. And everybody comes in, and by the end of their first visit, we're laughing and cutting up. And I always tell everybody, we're going to know each other like we're going to be best friends.
Yeah.
You know?
That is so important to be comfortable, because these things, especially, you know, those of us of a certain age, we're raised a little more
Modest.
You know, we don't talk about these things, you know, unless we're with our tight girlfriends.
Right.
And
then you walk into a stranger's clinic.
But quite honestly, I mean, we need to be having these conversations
Yes.
in a safe environment, you know, with someone that we trust. And
Absolutely.
we're getting the good guidance from. So, okay. So what about, I'm just curious, but it's too expensive. How expensive is it?
Okay.
And I know that, you know, the pricing can change and that sort of thing. So I'm not asking you.
We'll talk.
You to something,
we will talk general pricing when I
Yes.
say this. Now, I frequently run specials. We offer financing. It's definitely cheaper than surgery, even what your copay would be for surgery. So it is usually $400 a treatment, and you have 3 to 4. The wand is single use, by the way, so it's very hygienic. It is your wand. We clean it and we put it in a package, and it's got your name on it and it's yours. So you come back in every 4 weeks, and if it's not better, I will say sometimes if you have dryness and laxity, it may take another visit. So 3 to 4 is not the end all be all, and I'm not here to break your bank. So I do like to make plans and offer package pricing as well.
Okay, fantastic.
That way it can fit your specific need.
Yeah. We're going to pause right here, and I'm going to introduce you to one of our viewers and the cup that they've shared. So take a look. Today's Cup of the Week comes to us from our viewer, Tamara Roberts out of Oklahoma City. She says that this cup is the perfect size and shape for her. Plus, she says, I got it while on my first fall break trip with just my daughter when she was a freshman in college. I love it so much, she says, that when I sold and stored most of my belongings and traveled, and I lived with what would fit into the trunk of my car for nearly 2 years, I took this mug. Tamara, thank you for sharing, and thank you for watching Mornings with Missy.
And a big thank you to Rebus Flowers on Main Street in Henryetta for brightening up our studio with their beautiful mug of fresh flowers for Mornings with Missy. Your thoughtful touch adds such a lovely vibe to our show, and we're so grateful for your support. Stop by Rebus Flowers for your own fresh blooms and see why they're Henrietta's go-to floral shop.
Whether you're new to pistols or ready to level up, Native Arms and Trading Company is the place to be. We offer hands-on instruction with experienced trainers at our on-site pistol range. Choose from group classes, private lessons, or even build your own class with friends. We'll work around your schedule. Learn the basics, get certified for concealed carry, or master advanced techniques. Training made local, personal, and practical. Native Arms and Trading Company, where community meets confidence.
Okay, we're back with Carrie, and we're going to continue this important female conversation about vaginal rejuvenation. There, I said it.
Yeah.
So, you know, one of the things that I love about any business in this green country area, that I can get services like you would get in the large metropolitan or
Oklahoma City,
yes,
Tulsa.
large markets. I'm getting them right here.
Absolutely.
They're right here available to me, which is why I'm just so grateful that this business is here for us. I don't have to travel for those services. So let's continue on in this conversation.
Yeah.
Because there's other things that we need to know about this process. So just jump into that.
Absolutely. So you're right. I am the only one offering this type of treatment in our county. It's close to home. I have priced it to be appropriate for our market here. So if you were to go somewhere else, it would be, more expensive. We are definitely pushing the envelope on this one. I stay very busy with this treatment. So it's ladies, they're coming in. So come talk to me because we are doing a lot of these treatments.
And I know from my own personal experience, I mean, you do offer discretion.
We are very discreet,
Yes.
just as in my family practice. HIPAA does apply in my practice all across the board for my staff and myself. So no one will know why you're there, what you're having done. That is very important to me.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's very important to us as well. I mean, some of us are an open book, you know, like, hey, yeah.
And that's
But,
fine.
yeah.
You tell them, but
But
it's
it's my
not
story.
my place.
It's my story to
Absolutely.
tell.
Absolutely. And, you know, I will frequently ask for different quotes, and they're like, oh, yes, tell everyone. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, we're going to leave your name off. We're not going to do that. But yes, so this is so important, not only for your vaginal health, but this can also be caused by the hormone imbalance that we discussed the last time I
Yeah.
was in. And I didn't really want to get that deep into it at that time.
Well,
So-
go ahead. Let's dive into that.
Okay. So oftentimes women will come in first for hormone replacement, and for whatever reason, they don't want to take estrogen, right? Because estrogen has been linked to certain cancers. Now, let's pause there, because for a long time, there have been studies out that have said hormones cause cancer. That is one of the biggest myths that I like to debunk. All of those studies never looked at if any of those women, or men for that matter, had the genes already in the cells already. Nobody tested that. So everybody in hindsight that had done those tests and studies are saying, oh, well, we failed. We didn't necessarily look to see if they had these. Maybe it just causes the potentiation of the cancer that's already there. So it may cause it to grow. So I am very, very forthcoming in that we will replace what you want to replace, but we're not going to replace anything else. So if you have first degree relatives with any cancer history, or you've had cancer, we go into a much deeper conversation.
Sure.
The importance in that is that you drive the boat and I'm just there to help.
Yeah.
So I will frequently have women that come in, they do the hormone replacement. They don't do estrogen for whatever reason, but they're still having the problems. And so this is where this machine comes into play, in my VVR is what we call it. So it's discreet, and it's been a total game changer. I mean, to stop peeing on yourself after one 15-minute treatment, like I would pay $400 for that.
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned earlier about having to get up multiple times throughout the evening
Yes.
and you know, through the night, go to the bathroom. It triggered, you know, I'm like, well, how much exercise really can fix that?
Right.
So-
right. And so you may never get to where you need to be because your exercises can't get deep enough, or it's not a muscle problem, it's a blood flow problem. So that's where it's really important, because no matter the exercise, it's really hard to get blood flow there by doing exercises.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I honestly had not thought of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned another process that was completely foreign to me. Dive into that, because you know what I'm talking about.
Okay, so at my clinics, we call it the wow shot, okay? I'll say as we age, right? As we age, that's a safe analogy. We can lose sensation, right, in that area. And so to fix that, we inject some of your own plasma into an area down there. By the way, it's painless, okay? We numb you up with several different methods, and then we inject a little bit, and you gain so much sensation back almost immediately.
I know a few husbands that might be paying for that.
Right? And women, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
we deserve this.
For sure.
So the treatment is very quick, and like I said, near painless, right? You may feel a little prick, but that's it. And almost immediate results. The longevity of the treatment just depends on you. We may need to do it every 3 months. We need to do it every, 6 months. It's still a work in progress and figuring out each individual.
Well, for decades we've talked about men's health and the issues that go along there. We've never had these conversations.
No, it's
about
been
women.
wrong.
Yeah.
We can't talk about that, right?
So you therefore would just think that, well, I'm having a problem, but everyone else is not.
And you go to, let's say, your primary care or your GYN, which a lot of the GYNs do believe in this laser treatment and have these in their office. A lot of them don't. They send to other clinics for that. So you may or you may not receive the education that's warranted. And hearing that, well, that's just aging. Again, I feel like I'm a broken record, but that's not appropriate at all.
Yeah, that's so good to hear. What about the men in our lives? I mean,
Yeah.
what do you offer?
So ladies, we can
those
help them
ways?
too. I do not do this in my Henryetta office, but I do have an office in Bixby. And my colleague who is male does have some modalities that we can treat men with, whether it's dysfunction, it's still working appropriately, but it could be better. There are definitely some things that we can do. So don't hesitate to reach out to me. I can get you into contact and education on those individual treatments as needed, for sure.
So many. My head's swimming. There's so much information. I mean, just information alone. And as we're in this month of women's health, what are some other areas that we really need to be focusing on, or that you want to make sure that we drive home for ladies?
So I think it's important to understand that it's okay to not be okay sometimes. Juggling with me being a mom, right, of a special needs child, owning 2 businesses that I am, engulfed in every day, having to be a wife, having to be, it for everyone. It's okay. And you don't have to struggle in silence with a lot of these issues, that it's completely normal to feel comfortable enough to come and have a conversation with somebody that's not going to make you feel like you're crazy. I have heard that so often, that women have had these issues and their providers have just told them, you're fine. You're fine. Your lab work's normal. You're fine. And then that's the end of the conversation.
And you know in your heart of hearts that something is not right.
I probably saw 4 clients this last week that said, thank you so much just for listening to me. Because I've been told I was crazy, or been made to feel like I've been, crazy. And I feel like it's becoming more and more popular.
Well, and that's true not only with female health, as we're discussing here today, but just your health in general. You said you want us to be the one that's driving the conversation.
I'm here to
help. That's so true with anything. I mean, we each can probably count of multiple people we know who've had issues, and the doctors have said, there's nothing wrong with you. We're not finding nothing wrong, but something is wrong. Something is off. And then lo and behold, it turns out that there was an underlying issue. So I think that's incredibly important.
It's not that they're not entirely wrong in saying nothing's wrong. They're referring, because I don't want to discount, what their providers are telling them.
And I know I'm being very maybe flippant about that, but
but they're referring to, on paper.
Textbook.
On paper, you're fine. And that goes back to the fact that I don't put you in a box. I don't think normal values are normal for everyone. If you're symptomatic, it's an issue, and I love a challenge. I said that earlier. We're going to figure out what it is. And if I can't figure it out, I'm going to get a specialist that can.
Sure. So as we're here in the fall season, I know there's a lot of opportunities for us to take advantage of some of the things that you're going to be offering in your clinic. You want to touch on those as well?
Yes, absolutely. So this is our busiest season. Everybody's getting ready for,
holidays.
Holiday events, Christmas presents, everybody's shopping early. So we will be doing another, ladies' night. I frequently do them at locations, not inside my clinic, just to give more of that relaxed vibe, especially when we're talking about things like this.
Yeah.
We also
I would love to have been involved in that last one. I wasn't available to go. I was out of town, I think, at that time. But I'm sure that there's some pretty fun and funny and honest conversations.
Yes, very honest. It is honestly some of the most fun times I have had, which is something I never thought that would even be an avenue for me to reach women. You know, going to different boutiques and doing sip and shops and just having very candid conversations. And it honestly is, and I've met so many people that it's so fun. We'll have to make sure that you can attend the next one.
Yeah, I look forward to that.
We're going to be having a lot of specials, so make sure that you guys check our social media. Don't ever hesitate to give us a call at the clinic. We'll get you set up with anything.
And I know you also have a membership. Or
we do.
Do you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, so we have different memberships if you're interested in talks only. So, things like Botox, Jeuveau, Daxify, those are just a few names. We do a Tox membership just for that. It's $20 a month, and you get your toxin for $8 a unit. So, that's unheard of. And we also have other memberships that are more, all-encompassing. And those include usually, 1 to 2 free treatments a month, depending on which tier you choose. And then you also get discounts on everything else that we offer.
So many things to unpack here, and I appreciate you coming on so very much. Ladies, if there are some topics that you would like to have addressed on one of these episodes, please don't hesitate to drop a note in the comments or send an email if you don't want to leave it in the comment field, and let us know what those might be, because there's so many things surrounding our health, not just the surface, as you say, but really taking care of our health from the inside out, because that's where it comes from.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much, Carrie. I appreciate you dropping in and visiting with us again.
Thank you for having me.
We look forward to having you back. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Mornings with Missy. Have a great day. Thank you for watching Mornings with Missy. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow wherever you're watching this program. And remember, you can join us live every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m.